Divine Sacrifice, the fucking raid bubble. The whole reason you bring a prop fucking pally and a holy pally. The one fucking raid cooldown they have. I said you need
every
Why are you talking about 1
outgoing
minute
boss
cooldown?
damage is not on a 1 minute cooldown, is what I'm saying. So Rune of Death,
you want enough
which is
to have it cover
30
the whole
to
fucking
45
raid.
seconds, is what we're seeing right now, and we're asking for a potential divine sacrifice on every single one. We want a divine sacrifice, and then we want another one. But then that first one is still 30 to 15 seconds off of cooldown going into the third one. Yes, you can argue Nazda can drop a Tranquility.
What
But then
specific
after
boss are
that,
you talking about? What boss are you
People
talking about?
love World of Warcraft.
Give me a boss
What?
because you're
Okay.
pulling 45 seconds out your ass, and I don't
Just
know what
remember
boss you're
that.
talking about.
People
What boss?
love
What ability?
We're
World of
talking about
Warcraft.
Assembly
I'm
of
talking
Iron
raid
This is
cooldown.
no
right now.
joke.
What boss?
This is not a game.
Assembly of Iron.
Iron
This is-
Council. Okay.
Wow.
Which ability?
This
Rune of
is-
Death.
Wow.
You
What is
fucking
molten
move.
core?
You don't fucking
You
stand
move.
in it.
You move, but
Increases
what
damage
about the
by
5 to
18%.
fucking 10 people that are hit by it?
You wanna
Because
be
it's
an
a
officer
30-yard range.
In a World of Warcraft
There's not
guild,
enough room in that
you have to
boss
look
fight
like
for
this
everyone
first.
to only get
You think
3
you can
people hit by it. There's
fucking
not.
shower? You think you
Bro,
can
Still be
enjoy
doing damage
the
on the boss.
freedoms
What
and
are you
liberties
talking about
that
right now?
modern day
Because Rune of Death
society
is a fucking movement ability on the raid. Why
profusely
would you
provides?
pop a fucking AoE cooldown on that?
No!
Because
Because
there's
I'm
some
kidding.
people that are going to spawn in the middle of it, and there's some people that are going to spawn on the edge.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So
I
there's going to
spawned in
be
the middle of it and I fucking got out of it in time because I moved. And I walked with my fucking DKs.
great. That's fantastic. And you still probably took at least 2 to 3 heals to max out.
Dude, these guys
And
are
I stood in a fucking group to get healed.
Shit.
Fantastic.
I didn't take any other raid damage. There was no other raid damage. What are you talking about right now?
I'm talking about divine sacrifice.
You'd rather
that
pop Divine
lost?
Sacrifice on that ability versus Fusion Punch.
Why the hell would you divine sacrifice on Fusion Punch?
On the third phase.
No.
Why
We're
wouldn't
talking
you when
about the
everything's
first
doing
2
more
phases
damage?
right now. Because we're talking about a 2-minute cooldown, right? It's going to be up by the 3rd phase.
Oh my god, we have very different abilities on how to raid lead. We're not going to be on a fucking 2-minute cooldown when we actually start DPSing.
Oh, you are. You are.
No.
You are.
DBM wasn't even working for Rune of Death. Once Rune of Death is coming out,
Oh,
DBM works. You
God,
fucking call it,
dude.
and everybody starts running in a circle. And then they fucking
No,
dodge
you
it
don't
because they're already
start running. You spread out, and then people get hit.
Yes,
and then
you're
you
running.
move.
You're running, spreading out.
You're not
running.
moving. You're
You're
still
gonna play
damaging. You
WoW.
can't just say, "Oh, well, Rune of Death's coming."
You better
Drop
fucking
10 seconds
try.
of DPS to fucking
People
run
are
in a
gonna lose their
circle.
mind.
No.
Why would you drop 10 seconds? You literally have to run out before the ability goes to drop.
What am I doing?
Like, we literally watched the video on this one. Like, we were in the group together and said,
No,
look,
you
they
have to
spread
run
out.
out before it drops because it's going to drop on the Rune of Power,
Yes, but you
and
call
that
it at the
negates
right
the whole
fucking time
reason.
to run out.
And
So when
then
you're
you
running
have to
out, it
run
drops.
once it drops. We're talking 10 seconds. We're talking 10 seconds to get the maximum radius of everyone moving throughout the entire room to make sure it's spread out as possible and not on the Rune of Death. Because the fact is, no one can be within like 15 yards of the Rune of Power. No one.
Did we not
So
just watch a
that's
fucking
the
video on
first
this that
part.
showed it's possible to run it, outrun it, and not have to use a raid cooldown? I swear to God, we just watched a video on this one, and literally they called out.
No, they used
No,
it
we watched
on
the
every
fucking
single
tank
one.
spot one. We literally watched a PTR, a private server
A
one
tank
that
spot
showed.
one? Or are
Oh
you
my
talking about the
God.
PTR one
The
where
fucking
there was
terrible
people
warlock
dying
that. Oh my God.
consistently?
No, they did not have consistent deaths on that one. Either way, I'm done with this one because I don't understand what your concern is with that one. You call out Rune of Death, everybody starts fucking running, and you keep running until the Rune of Death is dropped, and then you run back to the Rune of Power. Like, I don't get why you would stop running when you have to get far enough away from the Rune of Power so you don't cuck the raid. Like, why would you call it out?
Popcorn, BRB.
Why would you call it out like 30 seconds ahead of time to where you then are like stopping spread out the DPS then? No, you call it out at the last
Because
fucking minute so everybody runs
No, you
out.
don't. No. Why would you do that?
So you have maximum uptime on the Rune of Power in the bubble and then you run out.
But if you call it out on the last second, there are people that are within 15 yards
Then
of
that's
the
a
Rune of
person
Death.
problem.
And then the Rune of Death is overlapping the Rune of Power. And that Rune
call
of
it
Power is
fucking
fucked.
9 seconds, 10 seconds, 11. It doesn't matter when you call it out. There's no
So
value.
so now you're agreeing with me. It's
No,
10
no, no.
seconds.
I don't know what the fucking timer is on it. I don't know what the timer for the debuff is. I don't know how long exactly it takes someone to run fucking 30 yards so you're away from the debuff fast enough. I don't know what that movement speed or that duration is. But the moment you say everybody split, everybody in the fucking raid runs away from the Rune of Power in the same direction.
World
Once the Rune of
Warcraft.
Death is dropped, you run to the left or the right
So
to
if you
get out
run
of
in
the
the
fucking
same
Rune of Death.
direction, you need a divine
Whatever game
sacrifice.
you're
'Cause
playing,
No,
there's
you
no
don't.
way
It ain't that
5
real
healers
shit.
are
don't.
gonna heal fucking
It
20
ain't that
people
shit where you hear
taking
grown ass
5,000
men cry like
damage
little
per
baby
second.
This is
back
where you have a problem with your
bitches.
ability to understand the raid. You don't have to heal
This is
because
where
there's no
people
additional
drop
raid
their
damage
fucking
going out at that point.
facade and show you their
Once the
true
Rune of Death goes,
5,000 damage per
disgusting
second to get
fucking
out of the
selves.
fucking Rune of Death. It's not an
Which is
initial
really just
hit. It's
let me
that
ask-
entire
really fucking
30-yard
bitches.
radius.
God, they're so
oh my
loud.
god, dude. Literally, you were tanking it. You did not get in the Rune of Death once on the PTR yesterday. I'm telling you now, I landed in the middle of it and got out with my slow
You can
ass.
tell me I'm retarded all night. You can tell me I'm retarded all night. You can do that. Go for it.
Bro, you literally are claiming something that you don't know anything about. You watched a video that Jordy calls out
What is
something because they're
wrong
calling
with
it out with
I've
the
watched fucking 5.
Bro.
Yes,
Like
and we
I've
watched
watched 5 different
I
perspectives.
watched
The raid-
5.
on PTR.
Why?
I've watched tank spots. I've
Okay,
watched
chat,
the
I'm
PTR.
sorry,
I've
I'm
watched
just-
Jordy's.
I'm
I've watched
enjoying the
streams.
troll. I'm
Like,
enjoying the
what
troll.
do you want from me?
This is
I'm
too
not
much.
asking for
This
anything.
is
You're the
too
one that's
much.
claiming that we have to have it on the Rune of Death, and I'm saying that's dumb.
I'm telling you, you just said everyone runs in the same direction from the Rune of Death. Okay, great. Now 18 people are standing where the Rune of Death is going to spawn.
Why would you stand? When did I ever say you stop running? Well, like, what are you missing about this point right here? Like, you drop a Death and Decay on the ground in the middle of the run. Go fucking
Okay.
run and see how far it takes you to get out of it. Count that down to time. Times that by the number of damage per second that's done by the Rune of Death. That's the total damage that you're talking about right now. You
So
have
there's
fucking,
people that are going to spawn, that are going to be
you're
in the
gonna have
middle
people
of it,
running.
and there's going to be people that are on the outside of
You
it,
have people
and then
with-
there's going to be people on the close side. So if they keep running the same way, they're going to be taking the most damage. People in the middle have to go one way or the
Let
other.
me get this right. Let me get this right. You're literally claiming that people that are running into Rune of Death are going to continue to run through it versus turning around and go right back to Rune of Power.
I'm going to claim the same thing you said
You're
earlier.
seriously
People that
gonna
are
claim
playing
that?
Sarth aren't watching firewalls.
No.
Same thing.
No, it is not the same thing.
It's same thing. Same thing.
You're not DPSing during the time that you're running.
I almost want to ask if they're drinking because then
I
at least
don't understand this
it's
right
not
now.
so
I am so
depressing,
fucking
right?
confused on why
But
you
if
think
they're
that
like sober fighting
I-
like this. Then
okay.
what in the
Okay, let me
fuck?
stop for a minute because this is so fucking confusing.
You're coming from the perspective I
No.
came from
Just
8
stop for a
weeks
minute. Stop
ago
for a minute.
when
I
I
need to
said
think this through,
it's
Necro.
raid. Why aren't it's the same thing as why aren't people smart enough to figure it out?
Necro. No,
people are
no,
seeing the same thing we're all
just,
seeing.
Just stop for a minute. This is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just go to bed.
You're
Just go
literally
to bed
fucking.
because
You're literally
we're-
telling people that because a
you're
thing
you're,
drops
you're
under their feet-
counteracting every argument that you've bitched me out for on tank callouts. You're counteracting every single one.
When a fucking firewall is on your back and your camera doesn't see it, that's not the same fucking thing as it's
Why
under
is your
feet as
camera
you're
not
running.
zoomed out?
Oh my god,
my
Necro.
God.
Why?
Do you not
Why do you
fucking
need to be
DPS?
straight up
Bro.
on your back to see
There
to
are times
DPS?
where you miss.
You could
some
So
shit.
let me get this right. You have your camera so far zoomed out that you're straight up
I
and
have
down on
max
top of your
camera
character.
distance.
Oh,
Now that
I have
explains a
max
lot.
camera
That
distance.
explains a lot, actually. That really does explain a lot. Okay. No, I don't play like that. I can't play like that. I'm not going to play like that. I play with my camera at max distance that my camera allows me to, and I have it close enough that I can see what's on the ground under my feet, such as void spawns. If you're at max camera range and your camera's straight up and down, if you have a bunch of people on top of you, you're not going to see it unless your particle density is 0, which again, I'm not going to play at 0
Explains
density on
what
everything.
exactly? Please do,
You don't
because
need to
I've
worry
never
about what it
died to a void
explains.
spawn. I've never died to a fissure.
No, you just died
I do.
to trash.
I can't explain.
You died to
I
trash. You die to trash because you don't call it out. You die to other mechanics that you don't call out. You don't hold
Mhm.
threat on Grob on Gluth because you don't know where to stack it.
Okay.
I mean, if we want to go down this road, Necro, we can. But at the end of the day, I'm confused on why you're arguing that
So
the raid heals has to be
you
popped.
you
on
bring
that.
out one-time things
Chat.
that have happened.
You called out
that-
one-time
Again,
things that I died on void spawns.
you
I
wanna
died
play
twice on
World
void
of
No,
spawns.
you've
Warcraft?
died.
Once-
You've died
twice.
3 to 4
You better
times
get
on void
ready.
spawns.
Twice, Necro.
This
Go and
isn't
look up
that
all
shit
the
for
logs if you
little-
want.
I'll
I
look
died
up
1 week to
Sarth
looking at
and
loot.
KT,
Tiny
and
baby
it's
boys.
multiple.
If you
It's
don't
more
have
than
a
2.
binky,
So 2 different void spawns, one
and
on
your
Sarth
favorite
and one on
blanket that
KT.
you've had
It's the
since
I
same
don't
you
know
were
how
exact
I
four
died
years
thing,
on
old,
bro. It's the
No,
Stay
they're
away
not.
from
They're
World
not
of
the
it's-
same.
Warcraft.
No, they look the exact
Stay
same.
the fuck away.
They're not the same, but okay. I don't know how many I've died on Sarth. I can go look at the logs if you'd like,
God, these.
but I don't think it's more
They
than
look the
2.
exact same. They came out in the same intervals. Like it's the same.
It's gold.
It's the
Okay,
same.
let's leave it at that then. 4 times total. Okay, I've died 4 times to things I could prevent. I agree. How many times did you die on trash
happens
last week
a
because you
lot,
didn't call out your pulling the
chat.
stuff?
This
Oh, I
happens a
definitely
lot.
called it out. And also last week, this previous week,
Hmm,
I didn't
let's
pull all
see.
the trash. I
Never
had
a dull
hunters
day here.
going ahead and pulling trash.
Never.
Yeah,
I
how many
didn't call
times did
for
you
that.
die? How many times did you
Twice.
die?
Oh my god.
How many
Twice.
times did you not held threat?
That's not even a question.
Actually, it is because I died to your lack of threat. So again, if
On
you want to
bluff?
point out
When you got tricked and
your threat,
and
bro,
Tribs didn't
threat.
cancel the macro.
it's your threat. I don't know if he canceled it. We don't know for sure.
No, he didn't.
Again,
didn't.
your threat. Again, if we want to start pulling
Also
out,
doing
if
a
we want
new
to start pointing
strat
fingers.
on night 1
No.
of me main tanking. Yes.
No.
Sure.
And so let me get this right. You're now again. This is great. I'm loving the fact that you brought this up. So you're expecting people that we have no idea who's going to be a second or third tank to not have any clue about the fight because we don't know who they are and we haven't identified them. And you're expecting them to now be able to tank Ulduar.
When did I say
good.
that?
Good. That's good to know.
When
You
did
didn't, yeah,
no?
that's good to
When
know.
did I say that? Please tell me.
That's the whole fucking argument we've had, and you've been
No,
arguing
it's
the whole time.
not. It's not.
Who's the second tank?
We don't. We're working
Exactly.
on it. We're
Exactly.
working on it.
You don't
Because
know who
your
it is.
argument is we need a backup. Your argument
Who's
is
the
you
backup?
can do it on one of the classes you
Who's the
want,
backup,
and
I can do it on any fucking class I suggest.
I've poked holes in every single argument, and you're not acknowledging them.
No, you're poking holes in the fact that I wanted Shadowmourne. That's something I told you I wanted.
And we're poking holes in the fact we don't want a DK and we don't want a feral.
And
So the only other option is to put you as a prot pality, as a tank, and give you Shadowmourne prio.
and that's wrong. Why?
Where's the whole?
Again,
That's not gonna happen.
And that's wrong.
And again, the reason I'm asking is why. The whole purpose of the legendary, as we talked about before, was to go to the most deserving person in the raid that would benefit the raid.
Oh my god.
Are there fights where you don't have your off tank DPSing? How many fights right now?
Prot
Nax do
pally
we
in
have?
the top 5.
How many Nax fights do we have right now that are one tanked? How many do you know in ICC? I'm gonna tell you at least half of them are
let's
one
bring
tanked
up
in
the
ICC.
same argument for me.
Chat.
I've main tanked. I've off tanked.
Never said you
Don't
couldn't.
play World of
And
Warcraft.
Never said you couldn't.
Don't do
created
it.
a DPS spec.
Never said you couldn't.
Somehow
Same
got
argument
lucky
for
with
me.
A beautiful
But
wife,
Shadowmourn's never going to me.
gorgeous children.
And why is that? Because you didn't
and I
you didn't
grew up
fight
playing
for
this
it.
piece of shit.
Whose fault
No,
is that?
Don't
because
play
I
World
did
of Warcraft.
Frost and I did tanking.
Don't.
You'd never give a Frost that.
do
So why are you
something
going
better.
Frost? Why are you giving up on Frost?
Learn how to
Or
build robots and
Unholy.
shit. Don't do this.
Why-
I can stay unholy. I'm fine with that. I'll stay unholy. My DPS will be lower. That's
Fucking
fine.
Play this fucking game.
I got no problem with that.
Why would anybody fucking?
Again, you make it sound as if I'm not trying to make the raid better. That's the problem you have right now.
No, you poke holes and you don't add solutions.
I've offered several solutions. The problem is you don't
have
like
not
the solutions.
you have not offered a single solution.
Humans.
I've offered to heal. I've offered to tank. I've offered to DPS on every one of my characters. I've
And
offered
that's
to
not a
make a new
solution
character.
because then we have to give you a legendary. That's your only stipulation.
But
I'll
again,
do this, but I have to get a legendary.
the solution you're calling the legendary, as I said before, is to the most deserving person in the raid. That's always been the same. It has not changed. I said if I tank on one of my characters, I still want to be in the running for it. And if you can't provide a justified reason, then that's not a justified reason. If you say because you're a tank, then I said I made that very clear when I went tank that I wanted a justified reason why I shouldn't get it. And again, if your justified reason is because I'm a tank, then I'm not going tank. That was exactly what I said.
And that's going to be the reason every single time.
And why
it's going
is that?
to be.
Again, you haven't given me a reason outside of the fact that you're saying it's going to increase or decrease.
Why isn't
We're
Shadowmourne
in
going
Nax.
to
We're in the
change?
easiest
do you actually
shit.
know? Do you actually know how good Shadowmourne is compared to like heroic Bryntoll?
I very much do.
Then you obviously
very
know that it's actually not as big of a difference in DPS as you think it is because we have the weakened Shadowmourne. Now, if they give us a pre-nerf Shadowmourne that was actually absolutely insane, then you're absolutely right. Shadowmourne is broken. But if you actually break down the damage,
now
Bryntoll
you're
is actually
making
better.
an argument that you shit on me for 2 weeks ago.
No, I have not shit on you for Grim.
You shit on me for
Shadowmourne.
saying, well, what if we don't get the pre-nerf? It's like, well, we don't know until PTR. So it's
I already
like,
said
don't
we
bring
won't
up
know.
that argument. It
already
just
said we
doesn't
won't know.
matter.
And again, I said before, we don't even know if Unholy DPS with two-hander is going to be better than Morb Spec. I said that before too. I've said that several times before.
Man,
And I
chat,
said it doesn't matter to me. I'm still going to want to go for Shadowmourne.
we gotta get some music going around here, huh?
Again, you're trying to fight at the Shadowmourne discussion, and I've already given you enough
I'm
options.
fighting at the legendary thing. I'm
No, you're fighting
fighting at the
at
legendary.
Shadowmourne. That's what you're fighting
No,
at.
I'm fighting
The
at
last possible
legendary.
legend. I said Shadowmourne. That's what I'm going for. I'm not healing on my paladin. Like we've already made it clear we're not removing Chief and we're not removing Briaris.
We did not say that. We're saying
Yeah,
we're
you
giving
did.
Chief a chance.
No, you made it very clear we can't remove
No,
Briaris
we did
because he's
not.
part of the
That,
trio.
that never left
Briaris is
anyone's
part of the
mouth.
trio. We're not dropping him. You made that
Yes.
clear.
Chief
Yeah.
is on the chopping block. We're going to talk to him. We're going to give him the same chance we've given multiple other people.
And again, as I said, for Ulduar, he's not on the chopping block at the moment. Because again, we don't have a backup plan if we have to bring in another healer that we have
We
to zero
sound
out.
really, or he
But if
sounds
we
That's
really.
fine.
find
I'm
another
dropping this.
healer
I need to go
that
to
is
bed.
on the place, he's
Yeah.
on the chopping
We
block.
do
There's
try to
no
encourage.
there's no ifs
Necro,
or
I'm good.
ors.
I'm done. I don't want to discuss it anymore because again, you're going to keep bringing up the Shadowmourne stuff, and you're not going to honestly even consider anything else.
Okay, yeah, great.
Look,
we're
at
done.
the end of the day, I want Shadowmourn or Valinor. That's what I'm
No,
going
no,
for.
we're
So if
done.
you're going to come
We're
back and be
done.
like, well, you
You
can't
said you're
tank it all
done.
then.
You said you're done.
Yeah.
Let's be done.
That's fine. All right, take it easy. I'm going to bed. It's already 2 o'clock my time.
Have a good night, man.
Fucking ridiculous, dude.
You both
You can
had,
say he's done for 10 hours and fucking bring up an argument.
relax. He's gone.
every single
relax, Relax. Relax. Breathe. Fucking relax.
Shrar, are you here still?
I think he's still AFK.
Oh, he fucked up, man. He fucked up. It was so much juicier earlier. Jeez, this shit is crazy, bro.
People are passionate. I understand that. I agreed with some parts with Necro. I agreed with some parts with Drac. Neither one provided any solid argument to be the clear winner, I guess. I don't know. But there was parts I agreed with one person, parts I agreed with the other.
Yeah, it's not
So,
about winning or losing.
It's not about winning or losing.
I'm not saying it's about winning or losing. I'm just saying, like, I thought there was good points that both sides brought up.
Dang, I got my popcorn and it's over?
Bro, you
Yeah.
missed it.
Drac finally left.
I feel like you timed that well.
It did. But actually, that popcorn, not even
point
joking
wasn't
right now.
about my point wasn't about winning or losing, but my point was about who brought up good points and who, said stupid things. People who said
what's
smart
TOS,
things. Blah,
chat?
blah, blah, blah. That was my point.
What's TOS?
I thought both
need to
sides
learn.
brought
I don't
up
know.
smart points. I thought both sides brought up some
What's
stupid fucking things.
TOS? What
I'm
do I
not
do?
gonna argue that Drac is wrong.
I'm not saying
He,
anybody's
he,
wrong
he-
or right.
he's- no, but I'm just saying he's right that
need that
there's
music shit,
stipulations and backup plans and things that need to be in place. But he pokes a lot of holes and does not find a way to patch them. He loves poking holes. He does not like to patch them.
I don't know all the context for that, so it's hard for me to argue one way or the other. So that one I have to just, it's basically for me at least. You're the officers. You guys would know better in that sense. But it's just like, just being heated about it doesn't solve any issues.
Bro, you guys are just wilding out tonight. And you know what's funny is this is.
Drac makes I can't
This
even
isn't-
lie.
I can't say
I
this
will
is
say I'm
abnormal.
heated. I'm heated, and Drac makes him heated. And I don't hate Drac, and I don't dislike him. He just brings out a part of me.
He does the
He
same
brings
thing to me.
out something in me.
He does the same thing to me, man.
Yeah, Necro, you
He
were
knows how to
talking.
poke.
You were
He knows
talking
how to
last night-
poke those buttons.
Well, okay, you were talking about last night that you're kind of a younger guy and stuff like that, and you didn't. And it's like, this is something you just got to grow up and understand that, like, you just move on, and it is what it is.
You're right. I'm decent about it sometimes, and I just turn off my shit and I walk away. But
Well, it's not even about talk. It's not about walking away. It's literally you breathe, you stay calm, you discuss, and just you relax.
I think you're right, and I think also there's a point where it's like, Drac, I think you saw it. He can talk, and he can talk for a long time.
He's very passionate about playing this game. In that sense, I very much resonate with him because I played this back in Original Wrath, and I really love this stuff. And it's just like,
See that, chat?
I mean,
have a passion about
That's
it.
what's crazy about
You
this
know,
game.
and I
WoW is
totally
the
get
only
that.
game.
I'll say he's passionate,
The
but he's
only
also
game
he's very like he'll go with whatever he
being
wants. He's
toxic
just going off of what
is
we're reflecting
justified
onto
for
him.
the meta.
And I don't want to bring people's jobs, but
Oh,
I've
who is
talked
this?
to Drac about his job,
Lawful
and
Gamer
his
Wolf.
job is to poke holes and make people question
Chat.
what's going on here
I'm gonna have to
and
get
what's wrong. So I
the phone
respect
number
what he's
soon.
saying.
What's up, chat?
I just
Just kidding. It's my wife.
it's not quite aligned. There's an overlap there.
You getting heated.
That's not
you getting-
quite right.
The more you get heated, the more you feed into the negative parts of his style, and that's what you have to learn to like
Yeah,
scale back.
it's true. You really have to go mano a mano if you want to.
Well,
go
you don't
with
have to go mono mono. That's the problem. Is you can't go mono mono. The more you go
But
mono
he's
mono,
just baiting it in though, so it's like it's
Well, that's-
tough to like
that's
not,
where
you know.
that's where you gotta grow up and be like.
That's where you have to go grab a bag of popcorn. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to just relax, and you're just like, you take a breath, you exhale. You know, you either you move on, you say, hey, okay, I think we've had a good discussion about this. There's maybe a slight fundamental disagreement, and maybe you guys just stop talking about it for the time being, and you come back the next day when you're relaxed, and you know you can have a more level-headed discussion, and maybe you can then hash it out. But it's like the more you get heated towards him, the more you feed him and his ability to talk, and you can't. Like, yeah, I don't know Drac that well. I'm new to the guild in a sense,
I'm gonna get some water.
and am just guilty and stuff like that. And I don't know your guys' background together and stuff like that. I mean, you said you were you said that you became an officer here after he did, so maybe you guys don't know each other that well, other than being in this guild together. So it's just like, you know, you just
Me and Drac have spent plenty of time together, so like we'll be heated, and then a day or two from now, I'm sure we'll like. None of it's personal. I don't take it personal,
Mhm.
but I think where our backgrounds differ is I search for solution. He searches for poking out what's wrong and where there needs to be a solution. And I don't find that necessarily beneficial without an actual guide to where the solution is. And he says he's offering solutions. I'll tank on my paladin, I'll heal on my paladin, I'll tank on my druid, I'll tank on my DK, but there's this huge, massive stipulation right in the middle of it. I want the legendary.
He didn't 100% say he wanted. He definitely implied that he wanted the legendary if he's going to be doing.
No,
No.
earlier he
There's
outright-
lots of discussions that have gone on.
Sure, there
It's
may
like,
have, but
This is
I'm
my
just
goal
saying-
of wrath.
I'm just saying within this discussion, from what I was hearing, while it was heavily implied, did not explicitly state. But there may have been other instances where he has said that, and I can't disagree or agree with you or him because, like I said,
His words is,
Larry,
this
I
is
like
probably
you.
my last expansion.
I'm
I want a
I
legendary.
resonate with how you talk and how you approach
Yeah,
I'm
because
things.
you
very
two are a
much-
bunch of fucking hippies, bro. What
I'm not a
happened
hippie.
was
What
Fuck you,
happened
Terry.
was
You
Drag.
sit there in the
It's
background.
a nerd
Drag-
just like me.
Bro,
I can hear it.
Drag is just the kind of person where like he felt like he wasn't being heard, and so he
I'm a
kept
very-
saying the
I'm
same
a very
shit.
introverted person. I like being by myself.
Introverted, analytical,
Yes, and I
and
can get heated when I need to, but it's just like there's really, unless it serves a purpose, there's no point.
Bro, that's
Man,
what every WoW player puts on their Tinder profile. Fucking shy, self-serving, world orc have
Fuck
to
you,
interact.
Chair. You
Shut
you
the
just stay
fuck
silent
up.
the whole time. You stay
Terry, you're
silent.
the
Bro,
only
I
one
thought
here
it
with
was
a Tinder
so
profile,
funny.
okay?
I thought it was so yeah, my wife would kill me, bro. She fucking murdered me. But bro, I couldn't stop laughing. You guys kept popping off.
It's
It was crazy.
Well, I
I
was
mean,
letting
we
it
can talk.
mostly go.
We can
'cause
talk.
I'm not
I
the
can talk in
officer.
circles just as much as Drag can. I'm not innocent.
You sure? Maybe you probably can, but I mean, what's the point?
No, the point is that I'm not innocent. That's what I'm saying. I'm not
Sure.
innocent. I'm feeding the fire as much as the fire's being engulfed.
You guys definitely
over
fed
the
each other's fire.
conversation.
Nah,
Bloody-
now you're cooled off, but you were heated, dude.
Well, it wasn't
No,
that bad.
okay.
They were heated, but
Can
it
I-
was not.
At one
terrible.
point, it got
What-
into
It got
fucking-
close. It got very close to being very personal.
yeah.
What triggers the fuck out of me, it just makes me so mad, is when people say you're not getting the point. No, I get the fucking point.
Yeah.
But
I
you're
think-
only making a fucking half argument right now.
Is this good
well, it's
content,
like,
Twitch?
You're arguing in the moment.
I don't know.
It's not like this problem's going to be solved when you're arguing right here in the moment.
But I
There's
play WoW.
somewhat of a plan.
What am I doing
you know
in
what?
WoW? Should I
Sometimes the
explain
plans-
that?
Guess what? Nothing works out. You do
Nothing
you do
does.
A, B,
I'm
and
going
C,
for
and it doesn't work
achievements.
out. And you know what?
Don't
That's
judge
what
me.
happens. But you know,
I don't
at the
need
end
your
of the day,
judgment.
We have a semi.
I don't need it.
You know, I
But I'm going for
agree with you on the
achievements.
fact that like we
I
had
don't
one
give a fuck.
PTR night. I'm cautious about naming names that need to be cut and
I
stuff
don't
like
give a
that
fuck, Twitch.
because it was a one night.
You
I
guys
mean,
think you're
hell,
better than me and
fucking
shit?
if you watch Jordy, they did I
Probably.
think like
They
15
were
attempts
hours.
on.
They were
I'm so lucky
hours
I-
on
I'm-
council.
Yeah,
Hours and
yeah.
hours. Way more than
Exactly.
we spent.
Yeah, well, they're a much harder core guild, so I
Gotta
can
have
understand
balance.
why they were on it. You know, more.
But I'm just saying, it's like they were a hardcore guild, and they still spent
Yeah,
more
yes,
hours than we
yes,
did.
Yes,
And we had a decent few attempts. Decent.
There's a
I'm
few.
just-
attempts.
We learned things.
They were also getting farther. Jordy's guild was getting farther along than our guild was in each attempt. But
Yeah, for
like
sure.
you know,
It wasn't a guild run too, so like
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
that's
We're
where the balance
putting
is like
we're putting
where?
too much. He was putting too much emphasis on the fact that it was not a full guild attempt. There are issues that need to be solved, and you guys will do what you need to do to talk to these people. Be like, hey, you know, for this fight, you know, you need to be, you know, you're going to be the dispeller. So we need you to dispel. You know, you need to know when that timer on DBM or Thames or whatever says this fucking fusion punch is going to hit the tank, and you know you can see the fucking his Falcon punch because he's got a giant ass fucking lightning bolt in his.
He
fucking
lines
fist.
that shit up hard.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know,
Falcon Punch is like
There
the
are things-
absolute best description because he literally goes Falcon.
but see,
Dude,
so the
when
other
you see that in pro play, you're just like, oh my goodness, did he just land a Falcon punch? Oh my god.
but the other thing is like I noticed on Ruby's, Sapphire's, on Sapphire's guild sign up, it says Ulduar PTR and I think normal rating. I don't know what the fuck that means. If I'm a raider, like you know, I don't even probably read that, and I don't know why there's not a at Sapphire raid. Hey, we are going to do Ulduar on Wednesday.
There was
night.
another. There was another in the raid announcements.
The big long post. I don't know how many people read it, but that's not what they're gonna. That wasn't what that post was about. But I'm just
Fair
saying,
enough.
if the raid sign up is about Ulduar, then it needs to be an at here or an at everyone or an at fucking Sapphire that we will be doing Ulduar on the PTR. You need to get your shit together before, you know, by Tuesday, your UI should be as best as possible as what it looks like on live. And if it's not, well, look, hey,
To give
you know,
everyone context,
at some point,
Phase
you may get
2
replaced.
of
And,
Wrath
you know,
of the
if
Lich
that's the
King
style
is
you guys want
dropping.
to go with.
Wrath of the Lich
Or
King
whatever.
is the
You know what I mean?
expansion
Like,
of the current
we
WoW.
we don't need to
Yeah,
get
the
everything
current-
down
the
immediately on
current
PTR,
WoW. I said
but
that.
we need to learn mechanics.
current-
And because we would rather wipe on PTR where
And
it doesn't count and it doesn't matter.
Guilds
and
are freaking
we can
out.
just learn and have fun
We're in
together.
PTR.
Whereas
It's not
when
easy.
it goes live, hey,
People are
you know what?
crying.
Maybe we don't get it on first try.
People are
We
crying.
get it within
Chat.
like 5 attempts. Maybe some of the
So
harder
come
modes
on,
is like 10
dude.
attempts. You know what I mean? Like we get it down quick.
Some
and, you
people are
know,
hard.
It needs to be like
It's okay.
this isn't. We're doing this now, so you feel less pressured when it is live. You know what I mean? Like you're just like we want to make
You're
your
breezing
life
through it.
easier.
You get to parse in live instead of fucking shaking in your boots
know-
about mechanics. This is like it's not just for the raid lead; it's for everyone, so that they understand. So yeah, I fully agree. I mean that I feel like that announcement that Shro put in the raid announcements. I mean, 17 people reacted to it. Maybe
Well, we
they
reacted
just
to it
saw
because
the
it was
end
a-
of it.
It was a good.
Maybe they
heartfelt
just saw
post
the
about
end and
things.
said react if you read this, and they was like, oh, I read it. But I mean, if I look at the reactions, it's people that I feel fairly confident
I
that
read
you probably
most of the
read
post.
that.
I read most of the post. I didn't even see I didn't even read the part that said react to this post if you read it. I just reacted because other people reacted to it, and you know, because I felt for the most part that hey, you know, I had fun doing the PTR with you guys, even though I'm only now being part of Sapphire essentially at this point. You know what I mean? Like most people are just like, oh yeah, they hit the button. I'm gonna hit the button. You know, you're giving people too much credit in some sense and not enough in others.
You gotta throw up like a weird react that's like react with this if you did it, right? I
Well,
don't know.
but the point's not about the reaction. It's just that, like, the raid announcement, it should be like, hey, I just want to,
I'm just trying to gauge an okay number of people read the
Yeah.
post.
yeah. And
It's
maybe
just trying to keep people increase their communication.
Yeah, I don't
levels.
think there's
Mine-
anything wrong with what you did. I'm
No,
not
I don't think
saying
there's
that,
anything
but-
wrong with what he did either. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, like, come Wednesday and people are like, wait, why aren't we going to next? I'm just saying you
Well,
should be.
okay, yeah. So for the record, I haven't talked to anyone else about this yet, but it's my opinion that we should just go Nax first, and extra time goes into Old War.
Sure, then maybe that's what you do. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
that's not clear on anywhere right now.
That's
I
good.
think,
That's good feedback.
like,
I'll update the post or make another post about that.
Or it's at least, there should be, it should be like, hey, there should have been 2 posts. One that says, hey, I appreciate everyone who came out, and anybody who didn't show up, it happens. Us as the guild leaders, we should have been more on top of knowing when the testing was going to start and stuff like that. If you want to include that or not, that one's a little iffier, but it's just like, people who call that last minute, it happens, and we'll be more on the ball or whatever. And then the second post is like, hey, the plan is for Wednesday, because rating is supposed to go through Wednesday on the PTR, is we'll do our 2 hours on live. Any time left over will be spent on PTR. So we need you guys to get ready for PTR. If you could do it by Tuesday, that would be great. So that way we're not that way if you have questions, people are going to be in Ruby Raid, and so they can help you before, after Ruby Raid, if you're not one of the people part of Ruby Raid, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll take that feedback back.
Are we? Do we know? It said it ends on the 14th, right? So that's Thursday. But did we figure out if
it's Wednesday. It ends Wednesday. It's
a
probably
Wednesday night on
It's
the
probably
roll?
midnight Wednesday is my anticipation.
that would be
Okay.
my anticipation. And then, if that doesn't happen, if it ends like at noon on Wednesday, then the backup plan should be like, we are going to sit here and watch show screen, and even though it's Tank Spot, which is post nerf content, we are going to watch maybe not all of the
Wait,
videos.
that's post nerf.
Yeah, everything on Tank Spot
Damn.
videos is post nerf.
Yep.
So for
Sure.
most of the mechanics, we should at least go over these.
Might need to
We
do
have
Jordy.
questions, stuff, or Jordy, yeah. Jordy's, attempts and stuff like that. We're gonna watch Jordy's wiping from his Twitch. We're gonna watch Shro. You know what I mean? Like, if we want to be at least not semi-hardcore, but not completely hardcore, but somewhere in the middle sphere.
Oh.
That's not talking
Yeah,
about. We're obviously doing more than just being like, I show up for my Wednesday raid and Thursday raid, and I
Yeah.
go home.
I feel like I'm
I'll
sort of
go-
lax
I'll go
on this
back to what I
because
said
we're gonna get a whole
earlier.
nother PTR phase. To
I don't.
we are.
I don't know. I usually
we
quit pretty
definitely
early
will.
into
I think
Classic
this
and
PTR is like
TV.
seeing where the bugs lie, right?
yeah.
This is where the issues that they didn't intend.
Well, there should at least be discussion if there is no rating for Ulduar.
Oh yeah, we're definitely doing some classroom
on-
sessions.
Well, I'm saying on Wednesday.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Wednesday, if there's no rating
Regardless-
for Ulduar for some reason, there should be something in place to and that should be communicated ahead of time, whether that's right now or tomorrow morning. When it's not so late and stuff like that, and everybody's head is cleared and all that jazz. Just like, okay, we're gonna do this, or we're gonna have a semi-classroom session for half an hour or whatever, just to be like, this is our expectations. Because raid post is nice and stuff like that, but like actually communicating to people like, hey, we want to be pretty serious about our rating, and we would rather not hurt people's feelings if we can, because it makes everyone's lives miserable and blah blah blah, or however you want to word it. And just like, we want to be serious about Ulduar. Ulduar is a step up. I don't know what other people in Ruby Raids is pre-Nax experiences with rating. So so whether they have pre-nerf like Eridar twins and all that jazz, and some of the more harder boss fights in like TBC and stuff like that, which I would still say Ulduar probably most hard mode
it
fights.
shadows that by a lot.
Yeah, I think Ulduar is going to be harder than, or at least for hard modes, going to be harder than even the hardest of TBC content, even the easiest of
So
hard modes.
I'll backpack
Crazy.
you on this. I'll backpack you. 2 hours PTR. If we get that on Wednesday, after raid, that's great. But this is where I'll come back in. And it's like this is where we should optimize. Even if we aren't getting PTR on the following Thursday, that's a prime time to just say, everyone, this is a raid time. Let's be here and let's spend an hour or an hour and a half. Let's watch the clips. Let's just like start familiarizing people with some of the mechanics, things to look out for, what we're looking for some of the classes. So then when the next time PTR comes out, it's like these people have, it's like it may have dwelled towards the back of their mind because we had 2 or 3 weeks or however long until the next PTR, but it still is something that we mentioned. It's like, hey, 2-3 weeks ago we talked about this. This is a DR that we need. This is something that this is something that to resonate with you. Or on Flame Leviathan, these are the mechanics
Gotta
of
be
each
right
of
back,
the
chat.
individual
I'll be
roles
right
that
back.
you need to know.
Mhm.
Things like that.
Yeah,
or
there's the take spot videos may not be 100% accurate because, like I said, post nerf and pre nerf are
Tank
there's
Spot. It's like
stuff,
I
but there are
I
plenty of
watched
mechanics
those
that you
for-
can learn from that.
Yeah, I watched the Tank Spot videos with kind of a grain of salt. It's old, so we don't know how much the DPS is doing, and we don't
Yeah,
necessarily know
that's
what
something like
we
Jordy's
know
like-
that they're on like the least hard state of the boss they're on the most nerf state of those mechanics. So
It
it's
may
like
not be the most nerf state, but it's at least somewhat nerfed compared to
okay. Well,
what
so
we're
for
doing.
like Hodier, they were on 3-minute Hodier.
Yeah, more than likely.
So, I mean, they mention it. They mention the 3 different
Yeah,
phases
yeah.
of it in the
I'm
video.
not gonna. Yeah,
Yeah, so like it's just like things like that. It's just like just planting those seeds, for those to grow and people to think about. It's like, well, think about this. Hodier is going to take this much DPS, but even Hodier is probably not a great example of it because Hodier is just like pump everything you can and try to maintain the mechanic and do the mechanics. But like a thing like Iron Council, it's like, well, your healers need to be on the dispels. Your DPS need to be perfectly moving away from that Rune of Death. They need to be on their shit. There's no extra cast there because if you drop a Rune of Death on the Rune of Power, you've just scuffed the whole raid. And other things like that. Freya, there's a lot of very intricate things where it's like there's minimal. There's some room, but there's minimal room for error. So if we can start planting those seeds a little bit earlier, and I guess that's didn't convey it as well as I should have. That's what I was saying about those Thursday nights. It's like maybe we spend a Thursday night and we give it 30-45 minutes. We just say it's just going to be 30-45 minutes on Thursday night. We're going to go over Flame
Yeah.
Leviathan. We're going
And-
to talk about Flame Leviathan. We're going to talk about the different roles. And we're still working on assignments. So it's like, obviously, that's a little bit harder when you don't have everything ironed out.
yeah.
But-
and just a heads up, real quick. I'm noticing in the raid announcements there was a earlier raid announcement where you kind of did say is if Ulduar is up next Wednesday, we will raid as normal and spend the remaining time giving the testing. Is still going on Wednesday, Thursday, and so the big post obviously maybe reiterates that. So I'm slightly wrong, but I would just reiterate to people in some way that like, hey, we are doing Ulduar on Wednesday if it is up. So
Yeah, no, it's there's a level of people that are maybe had other things going on pre-planned even before they knew about PTR. There's a certain level to it because week 1 raid night PTR, it's just like I didn't see. I know for myself. I think Sho and I kind of mentioned it both, but I didn't see this until other people in raid chat were saying Thursday. I was just like Thursday, and then I tried to find where Thursday came from, and I couldn't find Thursday. And then 2 days beforehand, it was like, yeah, it's Thursday.
they made a blue
Yeah.
post. They made a blue post
November
like,
22nd or 23rd. I went back to find it, and I think I did read it, but it skipped my
Yeah,
head for
it
whatever
was-
reason.
Yeah,
And then this post one day before it released came out. I was like, "Oh shit, let's do
Yeah,
something."
So I mean, like that's not perfect, and that's something to be argued for a different point, or not even argued. Just next time there's a PTR and we're trying to do PTR for trial of the Grand Crusader or ICC. It's like we have
or
to
the
be
next, or if
definitely.
there is like another Ulduar phase.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to be for sure on top of when those next phases are coming out. But regardless, we have to, there has to be some acceptance from the raid, and that's why I'm saying there needs to be some level of
Yeah.
expectation that something on Thursday is going to happen. Because if not, people are going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to plan something for Thursday. I have nothing to plan on Thursday." At this point in Nax, we're at this point where a Thursday could very well be a PTR raid, and we've seen how Blizzard does announcements. Like this one was much better announced than some of the other PTRs, and we missed it, and so that's on us. But there's other times as Blizzard has just straight said, "Oh, PTR, it's up. Go for it. Let's go." So we just have. That's why I was pushing that there should be some kind of raid activity, some kind of thing going on a Thursday, just to be like, yeah, you should be around. Even if we don't necessarily make it into the PTR, we can spend the hour and a half talking about the mechanics, and then the next week it's like, let's go in full force. Let's just do this. I said it in officer chat or wherever I said it, as I said that if we don't use the Thursdays are going to become like this wishy-washy state for people, and we don't want that for PTR, because we want PTR to be a not wishy-washy thing. We want this to be something so we can go in and practice and make sure that our week one is as rock solid as possible. So that's, I know you can't guarantee it. You want to give people a day off and all this, but at the same time, it's like you should, in Drax word, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Hope that we get an early announcement, but we might not, because in TBC, I definitely recall that there was PTRs that were like, "Oh, PTR dropped today," and no one fucking knew it was gonna happen. No one even thought about it. And I'm not saying that if that were to happen, we need to go into the raid and make sure that everyone's got the UI and their characters are copied and have BIS gear. But it's just like, okay, PTR drop. Now we need to really start looking towards this next phase. We need to start thinking about this. We need to look at the mechanics. We need to make sure to say, I hope everyone's watching the on their own. In my experience, it just doesn't happen. There's going to be five. There's going to be 5 people. I would place a bet on 5 people that just don't. They just like, well, I'll just show up and they'll explain it beforehand. And that's not what we're shooting for, right? We want to go in and we want to be like, well, this is this fight. These are the key things to look out for, and those are the key things to look out for. But there's a bunch of other little moving parts in that fight that other people need to know about. And if we spend 30 minutes explaining every single section of the fight the night that it comes out, or the night we go into the raid, that's gonna hurt our chances of doing anything at all. So I think those pre-raid meetings, those pre-raid just talking about things, it's like you don't. I guess I focused more on the healers and the DRs, but if you're just talking about like, well, this is a skill or this is a spell that he uses and this needs a DR and we're working on assignments, so watch for the assignments. Just giving that foreshadowing that this is a big thing. Make sure you're very aware of this. And then brush up on the smaller things is a little bit better of an expectation than watch this whole 6-hour VOD and make sure that you're very well informed. We've done.
I wouldn't expect anybody to watch a 6-hour VOD, but it's like
Exactly.
I, as the officer, have gone through this, and I'm going to show them at
That's what the officers are for, right?
Yeah, yes,
we do this shitty 6-hour VOD. We're watching all the boss fights. And that's why we are the officers and what we're doing. and we're trying to capstone the things that need to be looked at, right? And then it's just like, those are the things, make sure you know this, but then there's a few smaller things, make sure you brush up on them, make sure you know what's going on here. You don't have to necessarily watch the full VOD of the fight and see the wipes and why those wipes happened, but you should watch like a kill and see,
I'm dying,
the
Jack.
4-minute kill, what was happening in the kill, the smaller things like that. But the officers, our responsibility is to see everything that goes wrong and to make sure that we're preparing against the wrong. The Raiders are kind of preparing in a way to make sure everything goes right. We're trying to make sure that nothing goes wrong. That's like a thin line, and I think what I'm saying might be lost or just like sound like a bunch of filler bullshit. But I think that's where the line is drawn. Tell me it's bullshit if it's bullshit, please.
I think for the most part, you're totally fine.
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Fuck you! I'm leaving this guild.
72.
Fuck you guys.
Let's go.
We're forming Fission 2.0. Fuck you.
Oh man, that was a level in 2 hours and 11 minutes, and I made popcorn in the middle of that. Amazing. I'm so good at this game.
You actually made popcorn.
Yeah.
He messaged me being like, "I'm gonna go make popcorn."
He said
not
it too.
joking.
I
Well, then he
genuinely
said
thought it
something.
was like, I'm muting myself and I'm just gonna listen to this shit unfold.
I'd have
I genuinely thought I thought it was just like I
That's
don't
where
wanna be a part of this.
my weird personality did not think about the implications of the words I said.
'Cause
I just wanted
it
popcorn.
was a bit of a theater. We were a bit of a
Yeah.
movie at that point. So you're saying I'm gonna go make popcorn. I was like, oh, he's waiting to see where this goes.
Well, I mean, in a sense, that's obviously like what he implied, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
I would kill
Happy
for some
coincidence.
popcorn.
Yo, I put so much butter on this. It's so good.
Okay, you have to know the mean of a lawn chair and popcorn.
Oh no, I get it. No, yeah.
Okay, thank God.
But honestly, when I said it,
You weren't thinking of it.
I wasn't thinking of being funny.
No, okay.
I muted and I laughed when you said that. So it was pretty
Chat,
comedic.
people go bonkers in
Nice.
this
I love
shit.
when that happens.
Drac was on a tangent and I just went, that's fucking fantastic. That's where we're at now.
Can't happen to me, for real.
You guys kind of
As-
both went on tangents, and even Shro
I'm
went on some fucking tangents.
I'm
like, what are you
terrible about
doing?
it. I'm terrible about it. I feed that fire so bad. I do it. I'm such a fucking.
I just wanted
feeder.
people to be happy. That's why my rant was going. I just want people to trust me as their leader, and we'll get through it,
Are
even
any
if
of
it's
you guys
not
a
100%
younger brother?
optimal.
Are any of you
I
a
am the
younger
youngest
brother?
of 2 brothers.
You're the
There's
youngest.
3 brothers, and I'm the youngest of the 3.
See, I'm the oldest. Technically, I'm the oldest of 5. If you really want to be semantic about things.
Damn.
Semantic.
Okay, my fucking whole personality shit just went out the window. Never mind.
You thought I was an older brother? Damn.
No, I thought you were an only child.
Well, it's
Even
usually-
better.
Usually,
Actually, it's kind of the same thing because my 2 brothers are 5 and 7 years older than me. So it's kind of, I got that like
Yeah,
only
see,
child vibe.
my youngest brother is 8 years younger than I am.
There you go.
Well, I'm by 3 years, and I was a bit of a problem solver. Divorced parents trying to fucking settle arguments constantly. I don't want to get too deep, but I'm like trying to interject
Yeah,
myself
I'm
into
technically
arguments.
I'm technically the oldest of 5 because my dad remarried and had twins, and then my mom had a couple kids with other people. So
I'm just like I like interjecting
After
myself
remarrying.
into issues and trying to make them an equal playing field, and all I do is make them worse. I'm also an instigator. That's part of my problem because I'm a younger brother. I like to cause problems and make my older brother get in trouble.
yeah.
It's a whole personality. I've figured myself
you
out.
didn't embraced it. I love it.
For being the youngest child, you are not typical there, Shro.
Nice.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Wait, what do younger child?
Just said
Sorry,
he
what am I
was
missing?
raised
The younger
alone.
childs are usually more talkative, more meddling, more they can get away with shit more than the older children. 'Cause usually, the older
Yeah.
children are usually the ones that usually because they're the first
Oh my
child the
god,
parent
chat.
has,
These people are
they
a
get
bunch of
disciplined
fucking-
more. They're usually quieter, etc., etc.
God damn it.
I'm definitely the beloved child of
This is
of
my
the three of us
guilt.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
This is my
Because you're the
guilt.
youngest.
I kind of
Or
jest,
near
but
youngest.
also I
Shit.
definitely cause the least amount of problems.
Yeah, because you had older brothers to learn from.
Yeah, I did.
See, I'm the youngest child, and I caused plenty of problems, but my older brother never witnessed them. Oh boy, that's a whole psychology debate.
I took one psych class in university.
Here's a question: is Tribs or Drac the older brother?
Oh, I know. I already know the answer because he's told me. But I'll let you guess if you want to know.
Drac's absolutely the older brother. There's no shot.
He's not.
Really?
No, Drax's the older brother.
Oh,
Okay.
That's what he said.
I believe you.
Well, yeah.
I
yeah, think they
totally
would.
believe it. Tribs is like, he's just less vocal.
Yeah, he
That's-
can. They can both talk.
Oh, I've heard Tribs talk. I've heard, but most of the time I've heard Tribs talk. It's like me, Drac, and Tribs in a conversation. And I become the fly on the wall at that point because those dudes can fucking go.
Oh yeah, they can go round for round. Where do you think Drac practiced? Like,
Oh yeah. But there's no doubt in my mind that Drac was the older sibling.
why can't I get
there's
this key to drop?
no
Capture it.
chance.
Oh, I've got to capture him and not kill him. That's funny. Lol, when you don't read the quest text.
Where are you questing at right now?
And I'll say this, Calari, you might have felt that me and Drac are super angry at each other. From my perspective, we're both doing the same shit. We're trying to fucking poke holes and make sure that the other person knows what they're saying. So
I felt half the time I felt you guys were arguing the same fucking point.
Right? I know. They just are
that
saying the same
happens
thing.
a lot too, and for
Holy
some reason
shit.
I can't figure out how to stop.
This is what happens when two dumb humans just start talking.
Oh wow, because you're so enlightened, bro.
Bro,
What
it's
Kush strain are you
hilarious.
smoking?
It's just
Well, he is smoking.
at
That's
one
the
point.
thing.
At one point, he's like, "You're a retard," and you're like, "So what if I am?" He's just like, "Come on, what is wrong with you two?" I
Because
can't.
I guarantee you, Drac, he has his younger brother. He has his younger brother Tribs, and I have an older brother, and we're just fucking fulfilling that role. I guarantee you that's the fucking thing
You guys
that's
need to get
filling out right
married or
there.
something. I don't know.
Bro, sure, and you haven't even been around. This happens a lot between these two.
I've gotten-
I've been around.
You miss a
He's
lot.
been around for most of the blow-ups that have occurred. He's been around.
Dude, this
He's been around.
It's a
Me and
duo.
Drax seem to somehow keep it fairly tame until Shro's involved. I don't know what happens.
It's a duo.
Once Shro's involved, we're trying to impress the guild leader.
Oh God, that's not something I anticipated.
That
Daddy?
sounds fucking horrible.
Oh no, is that Milk Snatcher?
Oh man. Oh god.
I wasn't
I got-
not expecting this to turn into what it happened. That's for sure. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just
Yeah,
go on my
this
warlock,
is-
and everybody will be on their way.
It's I'm not gonna say it's an uncommon occurrence. We need to find a better way to have this discourse than it doesn't quite become a screaming match, but
Y'all
it
need
could
to
be-
read like books that like teach you how to conversate better. I don't
You
know.
mean converse, and yeah, read Animal Farm.
I just
It'll teach you how to kill.
Like I took a marriage counseling course. I kid you not. That was like one of the best things I've ever done.
Oh my, are you serious? What
I
is
am
that?
not
what
kidding.
happens when a marriage counseling course happens?
Sorry, I would not counseling. Like pre-marriage, like how to basically just talk to each other, how to argue, like learn how to communicate.
Wait, you took advice on how to argue?
No,
What in
how to
the-
communicate. How to communicate.
Well,
How to
what does that
disagree?
mean?
I mean, how to
for
disagree is
example,
a pretty big
yeah.
thing.
Because you're going to argue in a marriage, right? It's super important that you resolve things. One of the big things is to reiterate what they're saying. You say, so what I'm hearing is blah, 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 blah. And then you say,
I
is that right?
statements. I statements. They're huge. Instead of putting the blame onto someone else or saying what they're saying, so you can reiterate what you understand or what I
And then
understand.
you give them the chance to re-explain, and then you re-say what you heard, and you only move forward once you like kind of.
It's a big thing. I don't know. Now that I understand where Drac lies, I know he's a button pusher and that's what he does. I push his buttons back and it's not good. That's not a healthy thing at all.
Exactly.
It's not healthy.
Match made in WoW Classic.
Arguing about solved content, or mostly
Right.
solved content.
Amazing.
We weren't arguing about the solved content.
It
I'm
boils
just-
down to arguing about solved content. It literally boils down to that.
Yeah, I mean it is solved content. It is old content. Nothing's new.
It's not.
You are right.
It's
Right.
mostly not. It's mostly not new. This is going to be a special exception, and maybe
It's like what version are they gonna give us this time?
Well, it's like Ulduar had literally like I was saying last night to you, fucking XT Deconstructor has a fucking essay on all the fucking changes that it got.
Yeah. I mean the essay that you posted or Dark Lord or someone posted of the changes, basically it's pre-nerf. We're getting pre-nerf, which is
Well, I'm saying just in
I don't think anyone
OG.
expected
I'm saying in
that.
OG
I think we're
Wrath.
getting I just think no one expected that we were getting true pre-nerf Ulduar everything.
I think for PTR, I think people expected it, but they just didn't know what it was going to be.
But it doesn't even say PTR in the post. It just says these are the changes for Ulduar.
Yeah, because it's talking about it's very heavily implied. It's talking about the PTR.
Like they
It
would
just says
remember what
Ulduar
pre-nerf
tuning
is.
changes. So testing focus for Ulduar, and then Ulduar known issue, and then it just and then it goes into summary of Ulduar adjustments. That's where it talks about like everything we're getting. So XT,
Yeah,
and
which
it
is talking about
talks about Iron Council doing like 20% more damage.
So
and
maybe it's
that's why
just
we're getting
post
smoked.
Ulduar buffs. It's not pre-nerf. It's post buff. Huh? Huh?
It's post nerf, post buff.
Right. Post nerf, post buff. That's a little bit more correct. Yes. Yeah.
Regardless of what it is, it's gonna smoke. It's gonna smoke us, and I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean,
getting
Jordy,
owned.
even in the hours that Jordy was spending, like keep telling chat, this is awesome. I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad we're wiping.
I missed the Shroud deep dive on logs of
Yeah,
him
it's
going
coming.
and finding the
It's coming
exact
back.
moments. I missed the moment that you was like, "This is what fucking went wrong. This is
Yo.
where it went wrong."
My favorite find was Kael'thas pre-nerf. Our tank was getting threat. Warrior tank on the two on the left or whatever. He was getting. I was warlock tanking the range chick. They have to be like far away and Searing paint it.
Yeah, the conflagrate.
She was getting aggro on the tank on the left, and we were like, "How is she getting threat? Because it's like thousands of threat before I can get enough Searing Pains in." It was the healing threat from the paladin's earth shield or whatever. So the warrior would take damage.
Right?
The shaman would put earth shield on the tank. The tank would take damage, heal off earth shield per the 3 charges, and that was enough threat generated for him to pull the third chick over. And I was like, I found that, and I was like, I am a god. And ever since then, I've been a god at logs. So there you go.
That's a pretty impressive.
That's
find.
my origin story, actually.
I just remember coming in on Kindred 1 week on my paladin as a fill for a while, and I just remember 5% KJ, and then I watched you guys for the next fucking 3 hours. I watched him wipe. I watched you guys wipe the next week. I can't even say.
Oh,
I
I
was
remember
like,
that. Everything
I was
lined
like,
up
you guys shouldn't
perfectly.
have took me out. You guys shouldn't have took me out. I would have been there. I would have done that shit.
Put so much blood, sweat, and tears
It
into
was
that Kindred
nothing. It
raid.
had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. But nonetheless, I was like, oh, you took me out after the 5% wipe. We
And
gotta.
then we invented beach ball.
Beach ball was. I remember that was the first time I really knew that you were saying something. You said beach ball. I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And then beach ball was fantastic. Beach
Amazing
ball was
strategy.
perfect. I like beach ball. We need more beach ball strategies.
We're gonna have a beach ball. I'm gonna call splitting for Death Rune Mega Beach Ball.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ultra beach ball.
Oh,
Make sure
the
that
good
you
old
are
days.
30 yards from everyone else in the raid.
Yeah, we should probably do
I
like a
think that
range
first
10.
death rune. That's like that first death rune is definitely a prime boots use.
Oh yeah, it's boots, it's cookie, and you should be okay. Rogues can cloak it.
Mhm.
AMS.
I'm thinking like the spread before it even goes out. You boots. Like you should
if we
be
have
on
a if we have a
you should-
timer,
opposite
you should
sides
be
of the
too.
room.
if we have a
should
timer,
be
we could
too.
do that. But I think you boots after places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Thames Ulduar pack now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that thing,
wondering if
that's
that
been the
was
most
joined.
accurate announcement I've seen. Like,
Did it
it's
show
been.
good Death Rune?
I had to
I
look
didn't.
at
It wasn't there
Jordy.
last night. It came out like today. I
I
think.
found it because Jordy talked about it on his stream when I was watching the VOD. So I'd have to look. I'd have to look back.
We'll have to see how exact it is.
Their death runes were super off too in the VOD.
Oh yeah,
They were
DB.
they were bad. They had DBM even working. I mean, I kind of did, but I would see death runes and it was like 30 seconds away, and then you had Cal Lowry do the timer, and it was just like, whoa.
The one time I
That-
actually timed it, it said 45 seconds. So
Yeah.
that's what
Did the timer and your timer line up?
I wasn't paying attention to my timer. I was just trying to
Because
focus on my
I
time.
think my DBM timer all the time, it was just off by 10 to 15
we
seconds.
checked it
was
later.
either late
It's
or
not
early.
exactly 30 seconds or 45 seconds. It's in that window.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed mostly was Rune of Power was not accurate at all. It would
It's
say
about a
Rune of
minute.
Power,
Yeah,
but I
then
think
he was
I think
sarcasting
it's
in. Yeah, he's got to
yeah,
wait
I
on
think
a
it comes
a
off
few
cool
casts.
down.
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
a cool down one,
I
not
think you're
a
right.
it's gonna happen.
Wow, wow.
And I mean, Fusion Punch was just,
Wow, wow.
is it happening? All right, it's happening right now, and it was a big thing on my screen. It was like Fusion Punch, and I was just like, oh shit, Fusion Punch!
I'm falling
Fucking
asleep,
click a
chat.
CD, do something right now. This shit's gonna
I'm
hurt.
fighting it so hard.
Funny, sometimes it wouldn't hurt, and sometimes it would, and you're like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
but the wind up
The,
for Fusion Punch is so
the one
long.
time I realized it didn't hurt is AMS. AMS
Yeah.
like pretty much absorbed it all of the damage, and it mitigated the debuff. So that's like something. If I'm tanking Steelbreaker, that's something I have to communicate to healers. It's like, I got AMS. I got AMS for this one because there's no dot and there's pretty much no damage going out.
I think you
But-
should try and time it for the a fusion punch during Death Rune spreading, if you can. I think that's going to be pretty clutch.
I mean, it's like a little bit weird because the first phase is like I'm just trying to use it as much as I possibly could, and also I don't know how much. Our first phase was probably lasting longer because I think if you go watch the Jordy video, their kill was 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So that would give me
You might get just
3
one cast.
AMS. That would give me 3 AMS.
Yeah, you might just get one before the Death Rune one.
Their log says 343 on the kill, so yeah.
Okay. I could be wrong on watching the
No,
VOD
I
or
mean
timing
you're
it,
close
but
enough in that sense. I'm just saying what Warcraft log says. Obviously, Warcraft log
basically
does not-
last night I was trying to AMS, and then I would vamp blood to give me that whatever last stand that warriors got essentially. Give me a
Icebound?
10% more health.
Oh.
Just give me a big chunk of health to make sure that that one didn't hurt as bad or give them more time to heal me. Essentially, one tick of the dot could go off and I would probably survive. Normally, I wouldn't. And then the third one, as soon as it went off and I saw the damage, I was rune tapping to give me the 10% health back. So that was like kind of my cycle because that kind of lined up well. It was 45-second cooldown into a 1 minute, into a 30-second, into a 45, into a. It worked well, is what I found.
Where's Icebound in all that?
I didn't icebound. I think I don't think I icebounded early. I think I was trying to save that for later. I don't.
That's like 40% for 12 seconds, right? Or somewhere in that ballpark.
It's like 15, and then in Prospect it's like 23. It's something stupid. It gets
Isn't it like 40%?
It's 40%, yes, but I'm just talking about the time.
Oh, yeah. I don't
So
know.
like in my blood spec, there's a talent in Frost that I couldn't tell you off the top of my head that increases it by 3 seconds, and then my tier gear increases it by my 4 set increases it by like another 3. So like I think in full tier and that in a Frost spec, I think I'm looking at like 24, 26 seconds of that, which could potentially probably do 2 fusion punches.
Let it be
if
known that
timed-
my demo's name is Vazil Zugol. I want Hagoon. Can I get Hagoon?
What, Vazil Zugol? That's not a bad name, dude.
Vazil Zugol.
Hagoon. I know.
I want
As
Hagoon.
soon as you asked, what is Terror's demon? I was just like, it's. I said Hagoon, and Google thought I said Google.
What the fuck?
I don't understand that. Neither do I. I don't know what I said. I'm speaking nonsense.
Hagoon.
Honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna do as AF, but I'm excited for it.
I want to see. I want to see in these last couple weeks of Nax. I want to see some. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, like we've been trying to push speed, but at the same time, shit's been going wrong. Things have been going wrong, and I think that's just like people are less vigilant right now because it's super farmed content, and we're just trying to push too hard, and we're not necessarily laying out the law of the land of we're trying to push speed because at the end of the day we're probably not going to be the 40-minute the timer, we're not going to be pulling Resuvius, we're just trying to increase kill times and increase better trash pulls if we want to push some speed later on. If we definitely have to make that real, and I'll agree with Drac on that one for sure. That's something that has to be said. It's just like everyone needs to be fapping here. Everyone needs to be doing all these other things. I don't know if that's what our guild is because I think we're very focused on the actual parse itself. So if we slow down the raid by 30 minutes to make sure every single pull everyone's getting the right thing, that's fine. I don't find a problem with that, and I don't take an issue with that. I'd rather see a lot of 99s for the night versus we cleared it 10 minutes faster than we did last time.
Do we even see a lot of 99s?
I don't know.
Have you seen my 99s?
Are you 99?
I think we see a lot of repeated 99s. I don't think we see a lot of new 99s.
True. True.
I mean, Scoob and Cold Bay, those guys are fucking bis. And that's where it's like super hard with the whole Briaris healer Holy Paladin. It's like Cold Bay's bis, dude.
Yeah, you have to take them as a trio pack.
Yep.
Exactly.
Their whole value
He
has to
does
be
it,
divided among the
and-
three of them.
I mean, Doge, even if he's not hitting 99, I mean, he fucking does pretty well.
Doge
His
does
worst
well.
fights are like the one that's dragging him down on this last week are Resuvius, and I have a feeling that he died or no, Resuvius. He's mind controlling.
Yeah, that's not even the thing he can do.
So like, why is that not fucking taken out?
Yeah, it's cringe.
Because he's everything is like above 90, and that's like dropping him a significant amount because there's a 40
Yeah,
in
it's
there.
probably dropping him 5 or 6 parse points.
Probably.
Yeah,
Like
Doge
8.
does well. I mean, like Cold Bay and Doge, they're like the best part of that trio.
When
and
we
then,
brought them in, we were told that they were bots and they performed like bots. And they do not disappoint.
like bots as in good bots or bad bots.
Like bots as in like their casting is precise.
They're
and
a
not like
machine.
yeah. Their machine is perfect.
They are precision machines.
And I'll take that
German
from a
engineering.
caster. I think where that fails is a healer that needs to be reactive, and that's where bots fail.
Yeah, I don't know if they
Bots
mentioned
are,
Briaris
bots
as a
are
bot,
to
but-
be a single oriented, get the job done. But a healer is things happen. How do they react?
But hey, you guys made my night at least.
Yay, we didn't scare him away.
There was indications that made me worry if the argument went too far in terms of Drac leaving, because it definitely felt like
He'll be
there
back.
was but I think the heatedness of the argument didn't get that far, but it definitely felt it could happen. But other than that, I think it's fine.
Honestly, I should have said what I said to end the argument about an hour earlier. That's
He's
where
the one who
issue
fucking
was.
said he was going to leave and then kept fucking talking.
I'm glad you said it. I'm just like, I'll keep talking. If you want to keep going, I'll keep going. And that's my problem. That's my problem. That's no one
Yeah,
else
he
but
ate
my
some of it on.
problem.
Like, Jesus fucking
I'll-
Christ.
Because I kept poking holes and I kept trying to fucking push him and made him keep. It's just like, dude, let's just go to bed. Let's just be done. I know I'm not part of the solution at this point. I know I'm not. It's why I refrain sometimes. There's times that you catch me in this moment at 1 a.m., 12 a.m. that I'm like, we're going for it. Let's go for it. I don't think it was completely without any goal, but it was after about 30 minutes of the same thing being going back and forth. So there was a goal in mind and then it was lost fairly quickly. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm not muted. I thought I was muted. I thought I was
we hear you.
talking to myself for like 30, 45
No, if you want to
seconds
keep
there.
talking, I'm a good listener, dude. I am the bestest of listeners. Ask my wife.
No, I just thought I was talking to myself. I didn't see myself light up. And I was like, oh God. Did I
Not
just
this again.
I do that a lot.
Where are
I'm
these?
very good
hacks?
about hitting the mute on my headset and not hitting it again.
I'm gonna need your weak auras, Tara, at some point.
I don't
If
really
you
have
have
very
any.
many.
All right, I'll have to devise my own. Thank you.
I use this one.
Don't you have something right in the middle that like is huge and obnoxious?
Trust
Yeah,
me,
that was what I
you
said.
go
I have
look up
this one.
Aflock Weak Aura. There's a whole fucking set.
This
But
one.
is
There
there the Simonized version?
I'm not gonna say yes or no.
I'm sending
The
you
one I'm
two
using
now.
is like basically from retail, and it's fucking spot on.
Hmm.
I don't know how much DKs have changed or warlocks, but mine is like it's it's mint. I was
Looking.
like trying to make individual. I was trying to make my own throughout all of pre-patch. And then I saw this video and I was like, "This is everything I've ever wanted and needed.
Almost just lost
This is
it.
perfect."
Shit.
Shows me how long is left on my icebound. It shows me my AMS. It shows me my everything. Horn. It shows me
Sorry.
every
Jeez.
everything. It's perfect. Oh, chef's kiss. The weak ore I have is
Jeez.
perfect.
Have you seen my Rogue Vigors? They are perfect.
I have not. I stray away from anything. Not to say anything bad about Simonize, I just stray away from it because it's like it's. Oh, my phone is going crazy. Whatever I'm saying sounds like Google.
Google's listening. They're trying to devise ways to end arguments early. That was supposed to be funny. Come on, guys.
Not.
I was laughing. I just didn't turn on.
I was gonna
Okay.
add on to that is the last argument Google tried to end early was me and my roommate arguing about getting a deep fryer.
Like
Like
an air.
one of the
Oh wait, deep fryer.
No, like a genuine deep fryer, like a
Oh,
tabletop one.
that's,
And Google's argument to that was for the next week and a half, every YouTube video I watched showed me an industrial, like a kitchen, like the shit I work with in kitchens, deep fryer. Like $13,000. That's what they were trying to show me. I was just like, no. What do you missed the mark by a wide margin on that one. Like we're two broke college students. We're not paying for a $13,000 in-home deep fryer, and it's not even in-home. We need like a $30,000 ventilation system to make that work.
kind of sounds like you haven't let Google properly profile you.
I try not to, honestly. I try not to.
I've given in at this point, unfortunately.
I had a Google Dot or whatever the Amazon Alexa version of Google is. I had that for a bit, and it it made me feel so uncomfortable.
I'm gonna
I
go
was
to
like, I'm
sleep.
getting listened to.
But you don't want Google to have your info, not because of Google, but because of AI.
Google has it has all of
AI,
my
bro.
info.
You
It
don't
has
want
all of it.
AI having your shit. One day, we're gonna go to war over resources. It's not gonna be human versus human. It's gonna be human versus AI.
We'll see.
Check that shit out. All right, I'm passing the fuck out, deuces. Okay, chat. Before I end stream.
It's that like I actually use this warlock.
Have a good
Welcome
That's the funny
back.
part.
Have a
Welcome
good night
back.
to you too, Shroud. I didn't mean to leave midway.
That's all good.
All right,
I know.
later, dudes.
Good
Take
night.
it easy.
Okay, chat. I'm out. Deuce, deuce. Peace, 40 witty. 2 self 702. Represent. Deuce, deuce. I'm going to sleep. I don't even know. I guess I gotta get better at doing this like later. More energy. I don't know how I'm gonna keep up with all this, but later.